Right, so I'm taking the file new. So the dimension is, we check again. It's 640 width and 400 height. So I'm giving 640 width and 400 height. So those are in pixels, right? And I'm pressing OK. Right, so this is the canvas size or the working area of ours, right? So now they are asking us to apply a gradient for foreground and the background color. Change HTML notation to these particular values, right? So now we know how to create the foreground and the background colors. A foreground color is this black box in front of it, and this small white box is the background color, right? So to change the foreground color, I click on the black box, double click, right? Even a single click is taking you the thing. And this notation, they're asking to change that notation into this value. Foreground, it's going to be 29C, 89C. So let me give that notation to here. Oh my God. $29C, $89C. That's what they're expecting us to do, right? So let's say okay. And background color, click on that, and the one is E3216A. That is what they are expecting. So we are giving E3216A, right? And say okay. So you can see the colors are being applied over as foreground and as background. So now they are telling us to take the gradient tool, right? And they are telling us how to apply the gradient tool. So it's like click to draw a line, like you have to drag it, right? So what we are doing is we are selecting the gradient tool. Gradient tool is under the bucket tool. And here we go, from left to right, right? So it's just clicking and dragging, right? So this kind of a background will be filled. So then let's see what they are saying. To add text, select text tool from the tool option change accordingly. Follow procedure given below to suit the text. Font type, they say Gill Sans Ultra Bold or a broad letter type. That means like apurwala palala tikak ganakama වැඩි. Right? Correct the font size. They're asking us to give 72 and the color is black. Right? So I'm going to do what they are saying. So I'm taking the text tool right over here. And once I click on this, click and drag, it will give me the type in area. And from here, I can change the font name. So let's try the font name. It's the Gill Sans Ultra Bold. Let's see. Right. So Gill Sans Ultra Bold. Yeah, there it goes. At the very end. So I click on it. And the size, let's say to have 72, right? So let's say 72. Now here you got 62. You can increase and decrease the values from these arrowheads right over here. Likewise, in the corner. right? So I'm going to make it as 72, right? And they are asking us to type things in black, right? So to change the font color, this is the place that we are going, this is the place that we are going to consider. So far it is the foreground color that they have taken. So I have to click on this color and choose the black. So you can click on any place. If you click and drag, you can change the pointer. So I'm changing it to the very corner. So it will give me pitch black, right? So I'm saying okay. So the word that they are asking us to type is the nature, right? And later they are asking us to use the move tool to drag text to the center, right? So I'm typing right over here, saying nature. I'm taking capitals. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My font has changed. It was, what was the font? Gilsons. Ultra bold. Oh, yeah, it is taking FME money. I'm changing the color into the black. For some reason, this is keep changing to the, okay, let's go with like this. All right, there you go, nature. Right, then now if you want to do any changes, still you can do the changes since you are selected with the text tool, right? So if you click it somewhere inside the text, it will allow you to move the cursor and do the changes, right? If you click on somewhere else, it will create a different text place, right? So if you want to edit, it's better you click on the text so you can do the editing part, right? So now what they are asking us to do is, they're asking us to select the move tool. Move tool is over here, and ask us to like center align this, right? So to center align, we can use the align tool as well, right? Where were the align tool? Yeah, here's the alignment. Right, we can take it as a center aligned one. I'm taking the selection. So I'm select this and I'm making it center. Yeah, there it goes, the center. Right. So my word size is now text is center aligned. Right. Okay. Yeah, people, is that clear so far? Can I have the confirmation? Some were participating at the middle. So what we have done, first we went to the file and we got a new file, and we give this width and height and press OK. Then it was given this kind of canvas to us. Then we use the gradient, we change the foreground color by saying, by giving this color and pressing OK. And we take the background color. We can take the color palette just by clicking on these two boxes, right? Over here, right? And as the background color, we give this particular value and then press OK. So that is how this box become green and this box become pink. So when we use the gradient tool, the variant is happening according from foreground color to background color. This is how the gradient is designed, right? So we had the gradient, then we use the text tool, and once we click and drag, we can have a space where we are given the ability to type. So here we can type the particular font we want and choose, right? We don't have a drop down there, right? So if you want a font from A, you just type A, so it will show you all the fonts from A. If you want a font from B, you just type B, then you will see all the fonts from B. So you won't be see this much of fonts because I have installed some different fonts to my computer, right? You may not have in this big list, right? So then after the font that we choose is Gilly Sans Ultra Bold, this one, right? Or they have said to choose something, some broader fonts, right? And then we are setting the font size from here, right? And the font color from this green little box. Once we click on that, we can change the color. So we set it to the black and say okay, right? Then we typed what we want. That is how we came up to here, and you can see my size is not been formatted. So I'm selecting my fonts over here and I'm changing my size 72 and pressing enter, right? So it is 72. And later they ask us to center line using the move tool. Either you using the move tool or using the alignment tool, we will be able to center line this, right? Okay, so that is what we have went through, right? Even inside the text box, we can change the alignment type. Like the text box today may I in the left align vela, I can do right align, I can do center align inside the box. But again, if you want to center align the object, you have to choose the move tool, and either you have to move it to the center, just as you see, or you can use the alignment tool and ask it to move to the center. Right, so first I select what I'm going to move. So I select this text box, you can see the selection happens. So now I'm moving. If I move to left, it will move left. If I move to center, it will move center, right? Oh, hold on, it's not center. Why it is not center? It is center here, right over here. Right, so this align and distribute is there. Right, so it's better you go with this align relative, you use relative to selection and then you move, right? There are many different things that you can do, right? So just go with it, right? So yeah, if you want to change the size of the text box, you can, once you select the text box, you can change the sizes from over here, right? මේම කරොත් අකුරු වලට වඩා පොඩි වුණොත් එයා පහලට දා ගන්නවා text box එකේ. So just arrange it properly, right? And using the move tool, you just center align that. Right, so now it is center aligned. So now with the border stuff, right? So it is center line. Now it says to include a border around the text, select the layer which contains the text and add another layer below this, right? So, and they are asking us to rename it as the text border, the layer name, right? So you can see now layers are over here. Let me take the magnifier. Right, you can see layers are over here. So the text layer at the top and the background layer is at the bottom. So they're asking us to select the text layer and go and add another layer. Now adding another layer is right over here. So if I click on this, it will give me this kind of window, right? And it is asking what are the names and all these things. So I'll change the name as text border, right? Then what they are asking is, yeah, and they ask us to keep it below the text, right? So usually, right, usually when we give the details to the new layer and press OK, you only need to change the layer name, right? All other things will be happen according to the canvas that you are having, right? So you only rename the text border as the layer name and you press OK. So you can see there's a new layer at the top of the text layer right over here. So we need to move it down. So you can either click and drag it to down. Oh, it is not coming down for some reason. Never mind. Either from that or from these two arrows, you can move that. Right? So originally the layer will be at the top of the layer list, and I'm taking it down using this small arrowhead. Right? Let me show it with the magnifier with these arrowheads. So you can see the original order is the border layer is at the top. I'm going to take it next to the nature downwards, right? So I'm going to click on the down layer. So now it is changed. Nature layer is at the top. Next layer is the text border, right? So that is the requirement. Then they are asking us to do, is select text layer and right click and select alpha to selection. Now we should be very careful when you are doing this, right? Select text layer. We are going to select the text layer and right click and select alpha to selection. Right now, this is the text layer, the very top layer. So I'm selecting it, and once I click on it, so that layer is selected. Then I go to the select menu over here, the third menu item, right? Oh, hold on. Sorry, first we have to go with the alpha channel, alpha to selection, right? So I'm right clicking on the text layer and I have to choose alpha to selection. It is at the bottom of this big menu, alpha to selection. So I'm clicking on that. Now you can see my layer is being selected, right? Can you see it clearly? See, it is being selected, right? So it is selected, right? Now what they are asking us to do is to increase the selected area, select grow, go to select menu and go to grow and increase grow selection to 2 pixels and click OK. So what they are saying is once this is alpha 2 selection has happened, go to the select menu item is the third menu item, and you have to choose grow over here, grow. So click on the grow with the box that we are having. They are asking us to give 2. I doubt whether it's work with 2, but let's see, right? Otherwise we'll grow it more. So I'll give 5, right? 5 and press OK. Now, when I press OK, look at the look at this selection carefully, right? Then selection එක තියෙන්නේ හරියටම අකුරු වල වටේට තමයි කඩීරි ටික නිකන් දුවනවා වගේ අපිට පේන්නේ. So here I'm going to press OK. Did you see what happens? That selection is grown. Then කඩීරි ටික ටිකක් ඈතට වෙලා යන්නේ. Right? Then what they are saying is select text border layer, the one we created. Select white as the foreground color and fill color. Select bucket fill and click on the next. Click on the text, right? Next, you are going to do select and none, right? So what they are doing is now we have grown the selection. Still we are selected the text layer. So I'm going to select text border now. So it is the selected layer is the text border, the second layer. Now I'm going to take the bucket fill. Bucket fill is over here, right? I'm going to change the color. So for that, I have to change the foreground color. So I'm clicking it. They're asking us to select white. So I select white and press OK. So the foreground color is white. Now I'm taking the bucket into onto these letters, and I'm going to fill this. Now you have to realize when I'm filling it, it's going to fill the text border. Text border එක කියන layer එක තමයි fill කරන්නේ. Right? So I click on this. Can you see? So that white color thing is there in the text border. මම මේ nature කියන අකුරු ටික type වෙලා තියෙන border එක visibility අයින් කරොත් from this eye icon, I can take out the visibility. So if I take it out, yeah, this is where the filling has happened. It is on the text border layer, right? So now we can see there is, we can have the idea that nature word is having a border around it, right? So when you know it, how to have the border, it will be very easy to do that, right? අපි මෙතන දැන් හරියටම step by step බලලානේ අපි කරේ, right? So then they say go to select and go to none, or else you can do it shift control and A. So if I say select none, now you can see this particular word is having a border around it, right? Then when it comes to the Photoshop, this is much more easier, but the advantage that we are having with this border is if we want, we can move the border, right? So like if you take the move tool and if you move it, see, you can move it to the places where you want. අපිට Photoshop වල ඔය වැඩේ කරන්න බෑ. කරන්න පුළුවන්. Border එකෙන් ඔය වැඩේ කරන්න බෑ. දැන් මෙහෙම ගෙනිච්චම නිකන් පොඩි 3D look එකක් වගේ මෙයාට එන්නේ. right? පොඩි depth එකක් පේනවා. right? එතකොට මෙයා ඉන්න තැන අනුව මේක border එකක් විදිහට අපිට define කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ගැලපෙන විදිහට නේද? If you got the idea, you can do the things, right? හරියටම center line වෙලා තියෙනකොට ඒක board එකක් වගේ. Right? Okay, people, did you got that? Is that clear?
Yes,
How
sir.
the border is happening? Right, okay. How about others? Right, great. So you people should give a try, right, to have these things, right? Then last week මම ඔයගලන්ට පෙන්වුවානේ නේද මගේ handouts වලට මම කොහොමද හදාගන්නේ කියලා. So ඒකේ border එක මම දාන්නේ ඔය විදිහටම තමයි. Right? It's the same way that I'm using, right? All right, so there are some more things that they are telling into this, right? To add shadow to text, select text border layer from the menu, select filter and light and shadow, and you have to take drop shadow. Let's do it and see what is happening. So they are asking us to select the text border layer, right? Then what they're saying is go to filters and choose light and shadow. Go to filters and choose light and shadow. Yeah. And from that, they are asking to choose drop shadow. Right? Yeah, the drop shadow. So select, I'm sorry, filters. Filters, it's the shadow that they are asking us to take. Is it the shadow? Let me, light and shadow, yes. Filter, light and shadow, and there you have to choose drop shadow, right? Then දැක්කද පොඩ්ඩක් නිකන් මේ නම පිටිපස්සෙන් පොඩි shadow එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Earlier it wasn't there, right? Then it says, yeah, drop shadow and set the values as shown in the figure. So it says offset X is 8, offset Y is 8, blur radius is 15, opacity is 60, right? So X is 8. Y is 8, blur radius, it is 15, and the color is black anyway, opacity is 60. Color is black. Here the opacity is 0.05. I think they are talking about 0.60. Yeah, like this. And then allow resizing and all these things. No, it wasn't there. I think we can't take this to a very bigger one. මගේ උපරිම තියෙන්නේ values තියෙන්නේ 2.0 වෙනකම්. So 2.0 ආම ගොඩාක් ලොකු shadow එකක් එන අඳුරුම shadow එකක් එනවා. So if we like the 6 වලට වැඩි shadow එක පොඩ්ඩක් පේන විදිහට ගත්තොත් එද 1.2 විතර වගේ යනකොට අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් shadow එක පේනවා. මේ හැරටම කළු පාට වැඩි shadow එකේ. මෙහෙමම shadow එක චුට්ටක් අපිට visible. Right? So it's your eye, right, to see how it happens, right? And you can press OK. So now you can see there is a shadow and the border with these things, right? All right, and yeah, this is the common part which says once it is placed, it needs to merge all layers together. Right click on the layer window and click and merge visible layers, expand as necessary, and go to the merge. Right? So yeah, I think Seren has sent us something. Seren, did you do it by yourself? Now, let me see. You have sent me the XCF file, neither. Okay, I'll save it over here and I'll open it. right? So we really don't need to merge this thing to do the exporting part, right? මේ merge කරාම වෙන්නේ I'm really not recommending merging the layers. Merge කරාම වෙන්නේ layers තුනම එකක් වෙනවා. Last time අපි last week එකේ කරේ, right? So it becomes a one particular layer, and then after we won't be able to like edit or do anything. Right? So merging will disable a lot of things of yours. මොකද මේ layers ඔක්කොම ටික එකට එකතු කරන එක කරන්නේ. අපිට එහෙම කරන්න ඕනේ. We can just visit to the file. We can choose the export, this one. So click on it, and I'll choose desktop, right? And then I'll say this is the nature text. Nature text. So it has different kinds of extensions, PNGs, JPG, BMP, kind of image types, right? Like if you choose PNG, you can create things without the background or the transparent background thing if you need it. The make up the transparent background because it has a colored background, right? And transparent right? So I'm taking like nature text.png and I'll export this. So once it is exported, it is asking to set some settings. You don't need to do any changes. Just click on the export button, right? Ogolo photo editing well advanced පැතිවලට ගියාම, so you get to know what are these things and you can do a lot of things regarding these settings. But today I'm just clicking the export button. So it is just exporting, right? So if I go to the my desktop, this is the image that I export. So if I double click on this, this is the image that we created, right? Then පොඩි දෙයක් ඔයගලන්ට පෙන්නන්නම් මේක ඔයගලන්ට වැදගත් වෙන නිසා, right? Now if you hide the background එක hide කරලා, if you export this file, I'm going to export as, and if you export this as a PNG, I'll take nature text 1 as its name. So I export it. Again, it will ask me the options. So I'll say exporting, and I'll export it again as a JPEG or a JPG, right? I'll take this as nature text 2 and export it, right? And again, it is asking some settings. So I just press export, and I'll show you the difference. Right, can you see the difference? This is PNG, this is the nature text, right? So this is the first one we export, and this is the second one. I told you it's a transparent, it is with a transparent background. හරියටම යදාලා nature කියන වචන ටික විතරයි. මෙතනදී this is the one I save it as the JPG. So for background, they are given the background color automatically for these things, right? Then මෙයාගේ background color එක තියෙන්නේ pink වලින්. So it comes as a pink one, right? Then මේගොල්ලෝ අපේ artworks වලට අපි ගන්නකොට, right? Then උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉස්කෝලේ logo එකක් ඔහොම හදාගත්තොත් school logo එකේ පටේට white background එකක් තියෙනට වඩා අර crest එකේ විදිහටම යාව අරගන්න තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගලන්ට ලස්සනයි ඒ වැඩේ, right? So now if you take a Word document and let's say you are having a page color into this කියලා, right? මේකට color එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ, right? දැන් මම මෙතනට මේ images ටික ගෙනාවොත්, right? I'll take these two, right? See, the මෙයා නිතරම background එකක් එක්ක එන්නේ, right? But then අපි logo එකක් වගේ එකක් අපිට මෙහෙම arrange කරගන්න එක වටිනවා නේද? ඒකට ගන්නට එයා විතරයි ඉන්නේ. arrange කරා background color එක change කරාට නේද අපේ logo එකට ගැටලුවක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි internet වලින් download කරනකොට දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට background color එක fix වෙලා තියෙන්නේ it's for the white right දැන් මෙතන අපි specifically pink එක තෝරලා තිබ්බනේ previously මෙයා white වලින් select වෙලා තිබ්බොත් මේ pink background එක ආපු එක එන්නේ white background එකක් එක්ක so ඊට පස්සේ අපි white background එක නැති වෙන්න ඕක කපන්න බලනවා නේද නැති කරන්න බලනවා ඊට වඩා හරි lazy if you save it as a png right so those are some the general stuff when you are like creating the logos and every these things මේක කොච්චර ලොකු කරත් අපිට කාන්ටම ඒ අදාළ විදිහට තමයි picture එක අරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ right people are you clear with that so this is a very nice tool right you can do many different things from this right so give it a try right many different kind of things are there to be done අපි සරන් නෙවපු එක පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු නේද මේ තියෙන සරන් නෙවපු සරන්ගේ artwork එක yes Saran has done the same thing good Saran right so ආයක name tag කියලාම අර merge කරලාම අරගෙන තියෙනවා good Saran good right so this is a and like graphic editing is a highly paid means like it's a very free and if you are a graphic editor you can do the job by sitting at your home right you don't need to be like you don't need to work under someone but you should have a very good skill to do this right and if you are skilled at this you can have the jobs around you right thing graphic edit කරන අයට ඒ rates තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට කරන් දැන් ඔය videography edit කරන එකට ඊළඟට wedding photography edit කරන field එක right those are some highly paid areas right so yeah you can be and this has a many different sections that we can touch right we can create logos for companies we can create brochures right kind of things artworks banners right many different possibilities right so if you are interested in there are degrees regarding the multimedia you can have that right and it's a very mind releasing thing if you are really love with this right කැමති නැත්නම් කරන්න යන්න එපා but this is pretty interesting for me right so that is why I'm doing all my artworks I have shown you last time right so all the things is done by those particular things that I have learned මමත් තාම ඉගෙන ගන්නවා ඇත්තටම can like earlier I was doing the things from Photoshop right ඔයගලන්ට උගන්වන්න ඕන නිසාම මම තීරණය කරා ගිය අවුරුද්දේ ඉඳලා මේකෙන්ම මගේ දේවල් ටික කරනවා කියලා ඒක මට ටිකක් අපහසු වුණත් මට ඒක ස්කිල් එක එනවා right so and once I got the skill it's easy and again if I want to use the Photoshop I have to crack it which is not an ethical thing this is free and open source so there is no any unethical things so I'm free with that as well right so it's good to your mind right okay so people Canva Minul is Canva is for the Apple products isn't it
most like it's just like just a normal software not specific
right okay is it open free and open source one
yeah and it's more better than this like you can do a lot of stuff
right okay I have to give a try to that okay so let's move to the 2D animations right and we get to know how to do the simple animation type and people before I move to the next session next practical I want you to did I ask you to copy these descriptions of the tool to your book people I think I haven't tools ටික ගැන මම ලියා ගන්න කිව්වේ නෑ නේද? මේ command ලියා ගන්න කිව්වේ නෑ නේද ඔයගලන්ට? I think I haven't said that. No, right, okay. Right, okay. So it's better you copy these things, people, right? So have the heading as GIMP, right? And you don't need to go through any of these descriptions, right? Just copy down this table regarding the toolboxes, right? ඔයගලන්ට මේ icons අඳින එක නම් එච්චරම practical වෙන එකක් නැහැ. ඒකත් හැබැයි simply ඔයගලන්ට අඳ ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අඳ ගන්න. But I want you to practice, or I want you to recognize if they have given you something. You should have the ability to recognize what is the tool is and what the purpose of it. That is all I need, right? So just yeah. So copy the table. It is a little bit huge, but copy it, right? And plus these things as well. Tool options up to this point. Right, so please mark it and please copy it down, right? Table and this selected things. All right, so now we are moving to the Vectorian Gito, right? Gito right? So it is a 2D animation software. Again, මම හරි කැමති දෙයක් 2D animation කියලා කියන්නේ, but I really don't have time to spend on that, right? So here we are talking about two-dimensional animations, right? So just a second, people, I need to know whether Tito is there. Yeah, Tito is there. Yeah. Yes. So this is two-dimensional, not 3D type of things, right? So we can create cartoons, which is 2D, not with the 3D effects, right? So like before we move on to the tool, we need to understand what's an animation is. Now, animation is again a collection of still images which has little movement differences from each other. So when we move those still images in a very fast manner, we can see that something is moving, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ අර පොඩි කාලේ නේද? පොඩි කාලේ මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනුත් කරනවා නේද? පොතේ අර ඩොට් එකක් තියලා නේද? පොතේ පිටු කීපයක ඩොට්ස් එක තැන්වල තියලා පිටු ටික එක පාට හරවගෙන යනකොට ඩොට් එක move වෙලා එහෙම move වෙනවා පේනවනේ. So the same thing, same concept is set over here, right? So when you are like into these animations, you need to know some basic information or the components of the animations, right? So first let's get to know about those things. Now in an animation software, like it's not only in the Vectorian Gito, even in Flash and some other animation softwares, we refer to this component called frames, right? So frame is a one. It is like a page of your book. දැන් පොතේ අර ඩොට් එක තනින් තන තියෙනකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ පිටුවෙන් පිටුව පාවිච්චි කරනවානේ. ඒතර එක පුංචි කොටසක් එක පුංචි පිටු කෑල්ල අපි කියනවා frame එකක් කියලා. right? එතකොට පොතේ පිටු ටික ගත්තොත් frames කීපයක් තමයි ඔයගලන්ට තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර frames කීපය ඉක්මනට move කරනවා. right? So that is how we are going to see something called movie, or like something called animation is happening, right? So in these frames there are several types of frames which are called keyframes, tween frames, and just frames, and blank keyframes, right? So you need to know about these things first, right? Now keyframe, we call the keyframe as the main frame of a animation. It is where a particular animation is begin, right? So the creation starts from that point, right? So according to the keyframe, it decides how the animation going to happen, right? So අපි ඕකේ පාවිච්චි කරනවා motion එක කියලා component එකක් නැත්නම් effect එකක්. So motion happens in between keyframes, right? And as the paragraph says, there can be many keyframes in your in a particular animation, right? And I'm sorry, there is something called tween frame. Not tween frame, අපි නේද වචනෙන්ම ගත්තොත් tweens කියලා කියන්නේ එක වගේ කියන එකනේ, right? So tween frame is the one which help you to have a smooth animation, right? දැන් එකපාරටම ඩොප් ගාලා පයින් එකක් නෙවෙයි. දැන් අපි එක තැනක ඉඳලා තව තැනකට move වෙනකොට මේක ලස්සනට move වෙන්න, smoothly move වෙන්න උදව් කරන කෙනා තමයි tween frames කියලා කියන්නේ. So mostly in between two keyframes, we use many number of tween frames to make our movement a smooth one. අපේ movement එක ගොඩාක් smooth වෙන්න ඕන නම් අපිට ගොඩාක් tween frames use කරන්න වෙනවා in between two keyframes, right? And frame is just a frame, or as I told you, a particular, it's like a one page of your book which contains a particular content, right? And blank keyframe is where, like as the paragraph says, in every instance when a blank keyframe is added, it provides a blank frame to include a content. So blank keyframe ekaka tamai, like we are going to put the different kinds of objects or our animation components, right, which we are tend to animate, right? So those are the frames that we are that we need to know, right? And it's better we write about something about this. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Since I have asked you to write that big table, I'm not going to write about this today, right? But we'll write it on the next week after you done with that table. මොකද table එකට කොච්චර ඉඩයි දන්නේ නැහැ නේ ඔයගලන්ට. ඒක ලියලා ඊට පස්සේ ලියමු, right? So let's move to the animation part. So to do the animation, we are using the another open source software called Vectorian Jito, right? So there are some general stuff regarding this, right? And as they are saying, it's free software, so you can download it and use it, right? And it is easy to manage the animations sometimes, but it's not a very advanced tool like Flash and all these things, because Flash has the ability to program a particular animation and do some very nice animating stuff, right? But here we haven't had that much of abilities, right? So some animation tools are there which we get to know that we can use, right? And it's there to create a simple animation. Just remember that, right? So this is the interface, right? So I'm going to show it to you in a short while, right? So let's there are some tools as well. Let's get to know about those slowly. So now I'm going to take the Vectorian Jito. So here it comes, Vectorian Jito. Jito, I'm sorry, Vectorian Jito. So this is the yeah, this is it. And as you can see, I'll take the magnifier because some letters are very smaller over here, right? So this is the menu, right? It has some menu items like file, edit, view, insert, modify, control, window, and help. And at the very top, after the main menu, there are some common controllers. Specifically, these things are there to test your animation, or like play your animation and see, right? This is the zoom in and zoom in out parts, right? And new file, open file, save file, undo and redo, cut, copy and paste in parts are there, right? And here at the left, you got a toolbox with very limited number of tools, right? We are going to talk about those, right? And here, now this is what you call the timeline, right? Make them punchi boxes tamai that we are addressing as frames. So we have a keyframe එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්, tween frame එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්, blank keyframe එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. We have that ability, right? And again, like we use on the with the gym, this particular software is also having the ability to have the layers. So ඔයාට පුළුවන් එක layer එකක එක දෙයක් animate කරලා තව layer එකක තව දෙයක් animate කරන්න. දැන් අපි cartoon එකක මිනිස්සු දෙන්නෙක්ගේ හැසිරීම animate කරනකොට we are like using two different layers. One layer is to animate one particular character, and we use another layer to animate the other particular character, right? Then later we are playing both the characters together. එතකොට අපිට පේන්නේ මිනිස්සු දෙන්නම වැඩ කරනවා කියලා. Right? And here at the middle, as you can see, it is the working area, right? Or we call this the stage, right? Right? And here we are given the chance to change the colors of the shapes and all these things, as well as the brush colors and all these things, right? And this is the movie browser, which shows you what are the layers that are there, and you can change the behaviorance of the layers, right? And at the bottom part, you got some properties regarding the components that you are going to take, as well as some frames and all these things, right? So it is the, it is the major structure of this software, right? So now let's get to know this tool by tool, right? So this is what you call the drawing toolbar, right? As you can see, it is right over here, right? The drawing toolbar, the line tool and the pencil tool, both are there. And we can use this to draw things on the canvas, right? You can pencil select කරලා එකෙන් line එකක් ඇඳගෙන යනවා නම් අපිට කරගන්න යන්න පුළුවන්, like as the very same way we did on the gym. And this is bitmap image, so you can export a bitmap image which you had downloaded from somewhere. So you can insert something using this one. So you can use different kinds of image files like bitmap, JPGs, TIFFs, right? PNGs, GIFs, icon files, anything you can give into the stage using this. And this is the text tool. And I think you remember how the text tool works with the gym. So the same way it's going to work over here, right? And this is the oval tool. If you want to create a particular oval shape, right? And you can apply the solid colors, the gradient colors, many different colors onto this. And as well as the rectangle tool is also there to draw a rectangle, right? And the pencil tool, again, something very similar to the line tool, but this is a freehand tool. Right? And the brush tool, again, do the work of the brush, the paintbrush, right? And selection tool is there, so you can select a particular objects on the stage. And the sub-selection tool is there, where it gives you the ability to select the points of the particular object, and you can change the points. We'll do this and see. Right, and the lasso tool, in the GIMP, we talked about this as the free tool. So a selection can be done freely, as like according to your shape you want, right? And this is free transform tool, right? So you can change the sizes, rotating, and the object, managing the object can be done from the free transform tool. Ink bottle is there, so we can use it like we use an ink pen when we are writing the things. And pen bucket is there. We know what the pen bucket is. So it gives the ability to fill out things as we want. And eyedropper is there. This is to copy the particular color from some particular place, right? Then we can apply that with the pen bucket. And the eraser tool, so to erase down the things, right? And the built-in player, as I told you, the player buttons are there. The stop button, play button, rewind, and like going forward and backward buttons are there. Layers, as I told you, it is there, and the timeline, right? And the work stage, we talk about that. And these colors, this is geometrical properties and shapes, the colors of those, right? And this one, now here in this color palette, it is allowing us to change the colors of these shapes and all other things. This is to change the colors of the pen and brushes, right? Pen ke color එක change කරගන්න පුළුවන්, brush එකේ color එක change කරගන්න පුළුවන්, right? Okay, so let us experience these things. So if I take the line tool, this is how the line tool works. So I can draw a particular shape using the line tool, right? Again, හරියටම straight lines විතරයි යන්නේ, right? And from the eraser, you can change the eraser size by pressing the no, it's not working with the squared one. So you can choose the eraser size from here once you select the eraser. So then you can erase those things down. Oh my God. Right, okay, stage එකෙන් එළියට මැකෙනවා කියලා පෙරුණාට මකල ඉවරණයෙන් පස්සේ ඒක හරියනවා. Right, and as I told you, we can take a bitmap, right? Up it all now. We can have some image over here. Right, so our the friendly cat is here. So you can do the selection using the marquee tool, right? And selection is not given over here. What's up with it? No, for some reason it is not selecting. I'll go through that, right? And the text tool, you can click on the text and you can see it is given a background. So I just type test and yeah, I can change the hold on people. It's not allowing us to change the size of the text box, but we'll be able to increase the size from here, so it will change its size according to that there. Right, likewise. Right, ඒකේ size එක අපිට ඕන විදිහට මෙතනින් handle කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right, the width can be given, and you can move the object using the select tool, right, moving things here and there, right, and the objects. But you can delete if anything you don't want. You just select it and press delete button, and it will just get deleted. Right, you can zoom in and zoom out your stage, and you can collapse these toolbars and all these things, right? Right, මෙතනින් යා මෙහෙම අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අඩු කරනකොට පොඩ්ඩක් පරිස්සමෙන්, මොකද සමහර වෙලාවට අපිට මේව හොයාගන්න බැරි වෙන තැන් වලට එනවා. Right, ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක Windows tool එකේ තියෙනවා, but sometimes it gives you some hard times. Right, so now I'm facing one of those. Okay. Let's take it afterwards. And up in the toolbox, like property bars, we can take it out and do the maximization part, but be careful when you are doing that. Right, අපිට ඕනම ප්‍රමාණයට මේක settle කරගන්න අමාරුයි. Some fixed sizes are there. Right, මෙතනින් we give it fit to window, it will fit with the window right from this point. Right, so we can take the shape tools to draw the shapes like this. Right, so you can change the colors. Right, either you can select this and use the paint bucket to do the changes, right? මෙතන යට දෙන්නෙක් හැංගිලා ඉන්නවා ඉන්න බලන්න මොකක්ද ඒ කියලා. Black and white swap colors. Yeah, මේක window එක මෙයා මට ඕන විදිහට handle කරන්න දෙන්නේ. මෙතන buttons දෙකක් තියෙනවා, which is the black and white button and the swap color button. Let's refer it from the book. How about these two tools? Never mind. Right, so if you want to change the some particular colors, you can change the brush color, and එවෙලාවට select වෙලා තියෙන කෙනා කොහොමත් ඒකට එනවා, and other things you can click. Right, so this is given different colors: rounded, rectangle, shapes, polygons, stars. Right, as I told you, it's little limited when it comes to these kind of things, right? So we can draw those kind of shapes, right? And using the paint bucket, we can change the colors, right? Right, likewise we can go, right, as well as Once we click here, you can see the right-hand side panel change the colors. If I click this, it becomes the green. If I click this, it becomes this particular color, right? So if I change the brush color from here, I can change the color of it. You can see that, right? When I'm moving this controller here and there, it changes the color of the circle. And if I click on these points, you can select the colors of a particular shape, right? So you can select the like more than one object by pressing the shift key. Then I'm going to select color, you know. So it color so I can go for that options as well. Right, so that is how that works, right? And this eyedropper is there to pick a color, right? Color එකක් pick කරන්න තියෙන දැන් මේක ඕන වෙන්නේ අපි ඇත්තටම මෙතනට මොකක් හරි image එකක් අරගෙන තියෙනකොට ඒකෙන් පින්තූරයක් අරගන්න ඕන. Right? මේක as you can see මෙයා හරියට මේ range එකෙන් එළියට පැනනයින් පස්සේ ටිකක් එහෙම move කරන්න බෑ. Right. අපි color picker එක අරගෙන මෙයා උඩ click කරොත් brush color එක automatically ඒ color එක ගන්නවා. Right. And if I take the picker and click on this, the brush color will become blue automatically, right? So එයා එහෙමයි pick කරන color එක brush color එකට දෙනවා. Right. So those kind of things can be done for the shapes and things that we are having here, but we are not here to just to draw shapes and all these things. We are here to like do some animations regarding this, right? So let's see how a small animation can be done using this, right? So let's go with the basic animation techniques, right? So here what they are saying us is to draw a square and a circle, right? And they are just give some border, they are saying to fill some border colors from a different color as well. And this is the important part, right? Observe that this activity is shown in the first frame in the timeline. This is the first basic keyframe, right? So then they are saying right click on the frame 24 in timeline and select insert keyframe. 1 to 24 can be seen as follows. So when you've done that, you can be seeing things on this manner, right? Later they are asking to give a motion tween in between these keyframes, right? So then we can see an animation, right? So let's see how that can be done. So I'm get rid of these things. Let me select and delete things. I'm going to keep these two, right? So you know how a particular a square and the circle is drawn, right? And I'm going to change the colors of the square and the circle, right? And yeah, so now what I'm doing is I'm still like when I'm selecting these things, my keyframe is right over here as the on the first part, right? Let me take the magnifier, right? My first keyframe එක select වෙලා තියෙන වෙලාවෙත් තමයි මම මේ දෙන්නා මෙතනට select කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ, right? Staging. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the 25th frame, and I'm right click, and they say right click on the frame 24 in the timeline and insert keyframe. Right, so you are going to insert a keyframe. It is here, insert keyframe, not the blank keyframe, it's a keyframe. So I input a keyframe. Now you can see the shapes that I have drawn in the first frame as well as in this each and every frame. You can see those things now. Now what I'm going to do is on the 25th frame, my 25th frame, I'm going to move this to this particular point. The first frame එක බැලුවොත් මේගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නේ උඩ, 25th frame එක බැලුවොත් ඉන්නේ යට. Right? මේ අනිත් frames වලට click කරලා බැලුවොත්, so you can see them still they are placed on the same place. Even the 24th frame, but if I jump to the 25th, position changes. Right? So now my need is like from when the timeline goes from 1st to 25, these objects should move smoothly to the downwards or to the position of the 25th frame. So to do that, like in between the 1st and the 25th frame, right? When I gray area, I right click, right? Then I can say create motion tween, right? Let me show it to you again. I right click and go for the create motion tween. So you can see there is a arrow. Arrow is being created from the first frame to the 25th frame, and it is purple color. And if you click on these frames, now you can see a small movement of the shape from frame by frame. A frame ekin frame eකට යනකොට මේගොල්ලෝ කොහොම smoothly move වෙලා තියෙනවා. Right? So likewise, when I'm moving to the 25th, it is the place that we are now. Right? Okay. So now we can move to the first frame and click on this play button, and you can see it is moving smoothly. Click on the first frame and press the play. So it moves smoothly. Right? So it's a simple thing that we have done. Right? So in the very first frame, we create two shapes and we move to some other frame. movement So we right click and we insert a keyframe. Right? So like then in between those first frame and the keyframe that we have given, we right click on the place in between on the timeline and we say create motion tween. That's all we need to do. Then just playing the play button will show us the movement. But to play this, you should always select the keyframe, first keyframe first. පළවෙනි එකට යන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි මෙයා මෙතන ඉන්නවා පේන්නේ. දැන් මම play කරාම it moves. Is that clear, people? Seran, it seems make a frame rate එකක් ඇති Seran. Generally it's 25 frames as I remember. 25 අපිට frame rate එක වෙනස් කරන්න.
4 frames.
Right? Yes, Minul?
The top part shows the frame. Purple.
I'm not getting you, Minul, what you are saying.
That purple line in the top near like layer 1.
Yeah. These are the frames, no? Yeah.
25.
Yeah, Seran is asking like how many per second. That's what Seran is asking. Right? So like it depends, Seran, right? Frame rate change, Right? So ඔයාගේ frame rate එක තප්පරයක් ඇතුළත වැඩි වෙන්න animation එක smooth. Right? මොකද ගොඩාක් තියෙනවනේ එතකොට යා බොහොම smooth එකක් වෙන්නන්නේ. Frame rate එක අඩු වුණොත් තප්පරයක් ඇතුලේ movement එක rapid. Right? Okay, so that is the very first activity of the Victorian Jito, how to move a particular object, right? So yeah, in this step 7, what they have said here, if it is the same. Yeah, this here they are saying like how to change the things if you want to change the background color. Here the frame rate is given Serran. You can see it here. So if you go to the modify and document, it gives you the dimension, like how big the stage is going to be. The background color, you can change it. The frame rate, you can change it. The ruler and the units, the ruler units, whether it is from pixel or what, you can change that, right? So let's go to the this particular thing and see. And they are saying to modify and document. So for modify and the document, yeah, here this says frame rate is 12 fps, frames per second, right? If you change the background color into a, let's say a green one, right? You can, let's change the frame rate and see. Let's give it 24, right? And press OK. Yeah, this is how it happens. The frame rate එක 24 දුන්නම මගේ animation එක ඉක්මනට වෙනවා. කලින් තිබුණේ තප්පරයකට frames 12යි move වෙන්නේ. එතකොට මෙයා මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙන්න මෙතනට move වෙන්න තප්පරයක් යනවා. then මම change කරා, it is like 24, so it will move from here to here from a second, right? then ඉක්මනට සිද්ධ වෙනවා පෙනේ. Right, likewise. Right, so you can do the changes according to that, right? All right, people, is this clear? Can I have the confirmation, please?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. All right, now in the first thing, or like as the first practical, they say create an animation with captions, right? So they're asking us to open the Jito and select a rectangle on workstage as shown. So we have to create a rectangle, select brush, linear, to arrange colors and fill colors using the color basket. So we can do that, we'll see. Right, and double click on the layer 1 label, it has a background. Okay, so they're asking us to take another layer called text, right? Then they're asking us to put some texts like beautiful Sri Lanka, right? And this is how they are asking us to give the motion. Select text and use in properties, Windows, in the caption. Yeah, we'll try this out and see what happens. So we'll do it quickly. Right, so I'm going to the Victorian Jito. I'm taking a new one. So new movie, file and new movie. Okay, don't tell me it is stopped. Okay, now it is given. Right, so they are asking us to draw a rectangle. So I'm drawing a rectangle. And they are asking us to take the gradient tool. So from the properties, we have to go to the window and take that. Okay, let me see that. Yeah, okay, so we have taken the square tool, the rectangle over here, select brush and select linear, it says. So select brush, let's select brush. Oh, where's my brush? It's over here. And what they are saying is like select linear, name the brush and linear. Do we have something here? No. Okay, toolbox okay, samahara properties. Angular TNA. So let me yeah, this is the linear, right? Okay, so yeah, I can have the changes from here. So like in brush, I take linear over here, right? Then once I take the linear, you can see a blue color gradient applies over here. So I can give some other colors as well. So yeah, how is the background? It's green and orange. All right. So this is should be green. And this is going to be orange. My corner one is not selected for some reason. Okay. I'll take some dark green, right? Okay. All right, something like this. So I'll take the paint bucket and give that effect here. So it comes. So first we change this into the linear, and like clicking on this pencil kind of things, right over here, the markers, and you can choose the color for those, right? And you can change the spread, right? ඒක ටිකක් පරිස්සමෙන් කරන්න මොකද වැඩේ හරියට නොවුනොත් yeah. So you do the changes accordingly. So once you're done with the brush, you can take the color palette and you just click it to have this, right? And then you can take the text tool and give some text over here. So it says beautiful Sri Lanka, right? And you can change the font type. Okay, no problem. All right, now what's happening? Yeah, people, sorry, I think some error is popping up. I have to quit this. All right, never mind. People, let's do it like this. Since the time has passed, just go through this at home, right? I'll do it from the beginning, this particular practical, right? When we are like starting from next week, right? Okay, so most probably after that, we will be able to move to the audio content editing as well, right? Using Audacity. Again, it's a very simple thing that we are going to learn, right? Then the Windows Media Player, right? So probably by another 2 weeks, we will be able to finish this off, right? So then we are left with only the major one, another major lesson, which is called the HTML. So once we are done with the HTML, we are going to try the past papers, right? So I'm planning to get done with the HTML by the end of the August. So starting from the September, we got 4 months to practice the papers, right? September, October, November, December. Right, so people, thank you very much for today. I'm going to end the session from here, right? So next week, we'll do some simple animation and see how that is going to happen with Vectorian Jito, right? Okay, so thank you very much, people. Have a nice weekend, right? I'll see you next week for the same time, right? Thank you very much. And I'm going to go from here.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice one.
Right, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay, Dua.